There's this kind of tiredness that has nothing to do with your body. It's the exhaustion that comes from, holding on too hard, holding on to people, to expectations, to control. Like if you just held on a little tighter, maybe you won't lose it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tulika and I make videos on mental health, on alternate therapies, on ways to heal myself and take you along in the journey with me. So today's video is about detachment and how it is the way of life. So I was talking about how tired and exhausted you get when you are holding on to things, to people, to situations, right? And hoping that if you hold on to these things a little more tighter, you won't lose it. I have lived there. I have been the person who's held on to people who were slipping away. I have sat in rooms with people who did not love me anymore, and I convinced myself that I could win them back if I just showed them the right version of me. It is so humiliating. It is exhausting. It is lonely. But you don't let go because you're tired. You let go when holding becomes more and more painful than the fear of losing them. People misunderstand detachment so much. They think that it means that you stop caring. They assume that you become cold or shut off. But I have felt the most love in my life when I stopped trying to convince someone to stay. The moment when you exhale and say, you can go and I will still be okay. That is not cold, that is peace. And it took me years to learn that peace is not found in holding on, it is found in surrender, not giving up, just giving it back to life, back to the other person, back to yourself. So I was in the situationship, let's call it that, because it did not have a name. It had feelings, it had texts, it had those 2 a.m. phone calls and playlists and jokes that no one got, but it never had clarity, never had safety, never had commitment. And I thought that maybe if I just be patient, if I don't ask for too much, if I stay fun, if I stay supportive, if I stay low maintenance, this would become something. But let me tell you something. People know exactly how much of you they can take without giving anything back. And I kept giving, silently hoping that he would wake up one day and say that, no, it's you. I choose you. You're the one. But detachment for me did not come in the bold, I am done statement. It came in slow, quiet deaths, if you ask me, quiet deaths of hope. It came in the realization that every version of me that he wanted was never the real me. I remember the moment that I cracked. He sent a message. It was short, dismissive, like I was just some sort of noise in his life. And I read it. I sat in my room and said out loud to no one, just to myself, that I don't want to beg for this anymore. And that was the beginning of detachment. It was not a grand exit. It was just that one sentence that I said to myself that, you know what, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot beg for anybody's time, attention, love. People always say that if it's not making you happy, just walk away. But let's be honest. You don't stay because it makes you happy. You stay because it is familiar. You stay because the silence after they leave is too loud. You stay because you've wrapped your identity around how they see you. And without them, you don't even know who you are. I've stayed in places that have hurt me, not because I did not know better, but because I was afraid of the version of myself that I would be when I had no one to perform for. Sometimes it's not even about love. It's about proving to yourself that you are not too much. It's about proving you're worth staying for. And when someone leaves, it's not just their absence that hurts. It's a story in your head that says that you were not enough. That story, that's what you're attached to. You don't wake up one day perfectly detached. You wake up and say, I am not going to beg for clarity today. That's it. You resist the urge to check if they have watched your story. You stop crafting the perfect reply in your head to a message that might not even come. You feel the itch to reach out and you just sit with it. And some days it burns, but slowly that burn becomes quiet. And that quiet, that's peace which is moving inside your body. Detachment is not replying right away, not to punish, but to protect yourself. Not explaining yourself to someone who stopped listening to you months ago, or maybe who never ever listened to you. It's not posting to prove that you are okay, but actually being okay, even in the silence. It's not passive, it's not cold. It's choosing yourself again and again, even when the world does not validate it. Here's what no one talks about. Sometimes the hardest person to detach from is the person you used to be, the version of you that tolerated emotional crumbs, the one that accepted half love, that settled for almost. You've stayed so long that you started believing that this is just who you are. So when you start letting go of people, of jobs, of patterns, it does not feel like healing. It feels like grief. I grieved the version of myself that always showed up first. The one who always texted back, always reached out, always kept the door open, even when it hurt. But that grief, it's a good sign. It means you're not abandoning yourself. You are evolving beyond that. And you're allowed to outgrow the version of you that survived. Because now you're trying to thrive. I used to think detachment was about giving up. Now I know that it is about giving back. Giving people back to their own choices, giving yourself back to your own energy. You can't beg someone into seeing your worth, not because you're not worthy, but because begging is a language that no one is ever taught to understand. You need to stop over explaining. You stop shrinking. You stop softening your truth just to be digestible. That is detachment. Not proving anymore, just being. You stop texting first, not as a power play, but because peace feels better than anxiety. You stop hoping that they will change, not because you are bitter, but because you're done auditioning for the bare minimum. That is what self respect sounds like. I am done performing closeness with people who don't show up when it counts. So, no, detachment is not heartless, it's not unkind, it's not pretending you don't feel. It's the most loving thing you can do for yourself. To stop tying your peace to things that don't show up for you, to stop holding on to people who make you doubt your worth, to stop needing to be chosen no matter what. You can still love them, still hope the best for them, still hold on to good memories and still let them go. You're allowed to grieve the ending and still walk away. You're allowed to miss them and still protect yourself. You are allowed to release people who never held you. And if no one has told you this yet, you are so much more powerful when you stop chasing peace and start choosing it. Drop a comment if this felt like something you needed to hear. If you have ever mistaken attachment for love, if you ever had to let go without hating them, let's talk about it. Let's get better together.